And we are live. Welcome everyone to Reedsy Live, our ongoing series of webinars where we bring on people from the world of publishing to teach you how to write and publish better books. This week I have Clayton Noblit from Written Word Media, who have been one of our partners for a little while. Those of you who have taken our courses here at Reedsy Learning may have taken one on price promotions. Anyway, Written Word Media, they're fantastic. They work with authors to get their books in front of folks and help first-time authors build up a bit of an audience. But tonight, or today, depending where you are, we're all going to be talking about book marketing fundamentals. All right, so we're going to wait a few minutes, wait to the top of the hour. This is sort of the pre-show. To give you a little bit of a preview of what's ahead, we're, I think, going to build like a title sequence soon for these. I know, I've been doing this for like 5 years, and I've only been incrementally improving the production value, but we're going to turn this into a thing. But in a while, this is going to be a bit of a pre-show, and then as soon as we hit the hour, they're going to be, fancy effects and an animation. Who knows? I'll cut this bit out later from this one, so if it turns out I'm wrong, we won't have evidence of that. Anyway, I'm going to see who's here waiting, say hello, tell us where you're from, and maybe an idea of what sort of book you might be working on, what kind of author you are. Looking most recently, Billy Bandit from Russia, J.K. Lowell, I'm guessing not Russia then, Will from Dallas, Texas, Neil in California, Timothy in Nebraska, John Temp, not from Tempe, but Phoenix, Arizona, Jane Wallace from Vancouver Island, Sue from Tipton, Indiana, fantastic. The Midwest they're nicely represented. Oh, Lauren writes horror from Washington State in the US, fantastic. Savannah Storm, a regular here. Hello, Savannah. Writing, from South Africa. We have Audrey, who used to live in Monmouth. I'm stepping into the middle of a conversation. I'm pretty sure folks were just chatting to each other. Robin Mell from Tampa, Florida. Fantastic. Anyway, for those of you just joining, this is Reedsy Live. We have these webinars every 2 weeks where we cover different aspects of writing and publishing books, usually with a focus on self-publishing. This week is all about marketing books, especially from the viewpoint of a self-publishing author. And my guest will be Clayton Noblit from Written Word Media, a fantastic organization who do a lot to help authors. While we're waiting for Clayton to join us, why not give this video a like, subscribe to our channel. Every week we put out new content, new videos to help you write and all that stuff I've been talking about. But give us a like, subscribe, why not, and you'll be the first to know every time we do one of these. Let's see who else is here. David is from Lviv, Ukraine, writing horror, fantasy, and science fiction. Jared from Michigan, writing fantasy. Terry from Bermuda, who accidentally came here yesterday. Nike Hemingway, writing Christian books and professional development books. Gabriel, writing sci-fi fantasy with elements of historical fiction. Fantastic. Let's see. We have Travel My World, who writes, despite the name, science fiction. Barbara Bockman from Gainesville, Florida, writing middle grade books. Wonderful. All right, thanks. Keep on telling us where you're from, what sort of books you're writing. I'm sure it'll become relevant. A few bits of housekeeping before we bring Clayton on. This webinar will be available for replay whenever. If you refresh this link later, you'll be able to rewatch the presentation at your own leisure, have a look at the slides, pause it, whatever you like. Also, in a few days, there will be a transcript. If you go to blog.reedsy.com/live, you'll see all of our webinars along with transcripts. We'll have one rustled up in a few days. It takes a while because we don't use a transcription service, so that requires some amount of editing. But yeah, so those are the big bits of housekeeping. I notice here we are now 400 strong. Fantastic. Remember, keep hitting the like button if you haven't already. While you're busy trying to find the like button, I'm going to bring on my guest today. Please welcome Clayton Noblit. Clay, how are you?
I'm good, Martin. How are you doing?
Not bad. It is warm here in London. We had the hottest day on record yesterday. Is it slightly milder where you are?
It is. It's about 90 degrees or so in North Carolina. We're used to it, so it's not as bad for us. We have air conditioning, but yeah, I feel for you over there. It's not easy.
Yeah, like the building. My building was built, I think, in the 19th century, so they didn't expect this. Um, But yeah, unless you're going to talk about it in your presentation, can you tell me a bit about yourself? What can you tell me about yourself that isn't a spoiler?
Yeah, well, I'll talk a little bit about my marketing credentials during the presentation. But I've been an avid reader my entire life. I'm not an author, but I was part of a family that would go to the library and fill 4 grocery bags full of books to take home every week. We didn't have a television, so I've been a fiction fanatic for my entire life. So yeah, I've really enjoyed working with authors for about the almost 4 years that I've been with Written Word Media.
Oh, nice. Unless it's a bit of a high pressure question, what are you reading right now?
Oh, I'm reading a biography of Townes Van Zandt, who is an American folk artist,
Oh yeah.
by John Ruth. Um,
Okay. Like
it's been
a
pretty so far.
Inside Llewyn Davis is vaguely based around towns, right?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, nice. Cool,
yeah.
good stuff. All right, I see more people are still coming on in. We'll give it another minute. If you're in the comments, I'll be monitoring it during Clayton's presentation. But I have a few things to get on with. So if someone asks, hey, where can I find the replay? The answer is right here. If they ask, is there going to be a transcript? Say yes. If someone asks, can I have the slides? Remind them that this is a video that can be replayed, so the slides are already available to you. Okay, well, I think there's a lot to get on with. There's going to be a Q&A at the end, so feel free to ask questions throughout, and if we don't get to them, ask them during the Q&A. Clayton, if you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, I'll see you at the end.
Excellent. Sounds good, Martin. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining me today. It's an honor to be here in front of you. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 essential marketing tactics for authors. But before we get into each one of these tactics or strategies, honestly, a little bit about me. My name is Clayton Noblit. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at Written Word Media. I've been at Written Word Media for almost 4 years now, and my job there is to acquire readers for our email lists, and to share what we do with authors. And so yeah, I've really enjoyed working with authors in my time at Written Word, and yeah, I'm excited to be here today with all of you. So yeah, enough about me. Today we're going to cover the 5 essential tactics for marketing a book. We're going to start off with the importance of being findable. Then we're going to move on to how you should use your back matter. And then we'll touch on why every author needs an email list. And then we'll wrap up with price promotions and digital ads. I think, I'm not an author, but I am a digital marketer. And so hopefully during this presentation, I'll be able to share kind of a different lens on book marketing and kind of shift how you look at a few things and get those gears turning, and help you think of new ways or different ways to market your book. We survey authors every year at Written Word Media, and something we hear from authors every year, regardless of how many books they've published or how much they're earning from their writing, is that marketing is the hardest part of being an author. So if you ever find yourself frustrated with book marketing, know you are not alone. Almost every author seems to struggle with this. And as a professional marketer, I also find it very difficult. It's a challenging thing. It's a lot of failure. So know you're not alone. And hopefully these tips can kind of make this process a little easier or more exciting for you. All right, so with that in mind, let's move on to tactic number 1. And tactic number 1, you could argue this is a bit more of a strategy, but I think the tactics here are pretty similar across platforms, is to be findable. And I think the best test for being findable is if one of your readers was talking to one of their friends and they mentioned you and your book, would their friend be able to Google your name or the name that you write under if you have a pen name and find your books to buy, right? That's kind of what being findable means in this digital age. And so a great way to be findable is to have an Amazon author page if you publish on Amazon, or an author page on other platforms if you're wide as well. And so with your Amazon author page, it's really important that you have a robust description, and in that description have a call to action or a CTA. And so we've got an example here from Pippa Grant, and she's done a great job here. She gives you a little bit of information about herself. She includes some awards she's won. If you haven't won any awards yet, that's fine. You can just skip that section. And she goes on to describe what she writes about, and gives you a little bit of her personality and things that she enjoys. And then at the end of this short kind of peppy description, you'll notice that Pippa has 2 calls to action, or CTAs. First is she's asking us to hit that yellow follow button, which you can see on the screen. It's a very easy thing for a reader to do. And second is to go to her website and sign up for her mailing list. And what makes this CTA, the second CTA about going to the website, so great is she's not just saying, hey, go check out my website. She's saying, go check out my website and sign up for this newsletter. And so that makes it very easy for a reader to go to the website, click on the newsletter sign up, and sign up. It sounds simple, but when you give somebody a task to do and a reason to go to your site, they're much more likely to go to your site and then take that action instead of just saying, please go visit my website. A really great thing about someone visiting your author page on a site like Amazon or Kobo, Apple, wherever you're published, is that in order for someone to get here, they have to have clicked on your name or your pen name. And so that means a reader that's on this page is interested in you, they're interested in your books. And so you want to make it as easy as possible for them to learn more about you and to connect with you so you can share with them more of your work. Or if you have another book coming out years down the road, they're on your email list and you can let them know about it. So think about this page as a page for people that are interested in you and are what we call in marketing warm leads. They're very interested in your work and what you're doing. And so this is a great place to ask them to do something for you or to follow you. Another thing that Pippa does a great job of on her Amazon page is she has a real photo of herself on the author page. And so, this can be a little awkward and a little unnerving. I know like my headshot was out there for this webinar, and I don't really like seeing my photo online and thinking about other people looking at me. Being on camera now is not necessarily the most comfortable thing for me. And I think a lot of authors are the same way. Putting a real photo of yourself up can feel, it can make you feel like a little nervous, and you might not want people to look at you. I would counter with the benefit of having a real photo is significant. When someone sees a photo of you on your author page, they're going to connect with you much deeper than they would if they saw, a book cover or an animation or something like that. So when someone goes to Pippa's author page, they're seeing that, oh, Pippa's a real person. And then when they go to her website, they can also see that she has a headshot there as well. They know that she's the same person and that she's a real person. And that makes it much more likely for the reader to invest in you as an author. And so, whenever possible, whenever you're comfortable, we really recommend using a real photo on your author page. Great question, Leo. I think now with how good camera phones are, you can do a selfie. So Pippa, obviously, I think this is a professionally done photo. It looks really well done. But I think with how camera phones are now, you can get someone in your family to take a photo of you against a nice background, and just make sure that the focus is good. And just have a smile on your face. You wear a unicorn antler on your unicorn horn, I guess, like Pippa is. Whatever kind of matches your personality. I think a selfie will often work, and you can take a couple and ask friends and family what they think. But I don't think you need to pay for a professional headshot at this point with how good camera phones are. All right, so moving on to the second part of being findable here is your Facebook author page. And so here we have an example from Addison Moore. Addison has been booking promos with us at Written Media for a long time. And something that she does really well on her Facebook page is she's added books or author to the end of her Facebook page title. And once again, this is a really simple, easy thing, but it does make a difference. And the reason why it makes a difference is when someone searches for your name on Facebook, they're likely going to get a whole list of results. And so, if I type in Addison Moore on Facebook and I'm looking for the author, I'm much more likely to click on Addison Moore books or Addison Moore author than I am to click on Addison Moore without the books or author on the end. And what can happen is if you don't have author or books or something to indicate that you're an author at the end of your page title on Facebook, is if someone searches for you, they could go to the wrong profile. And if they can't find you right away, they might give up. And so this is all about removing steps and making things as easy as possible for readers to get to a point where they can follow you and buy your books. And so by adding author or books to the end of your page name, you can make it much easier for readers to find you. Another great thing that Addison does here is in the About section on the left side of her page here. She has a very short description and then a link to her website. And so we'll talk more about the importance of websites later on. But this makes it very easy for readers to take that next step to connect with Addison. She also has she's recently posted about a sale she's having on one of her books. And so if I'm a reader and I end up on this Facebook page, it's very easy for me to like the page, and then I'll get notifications about her posts. It's very easy for me to take advantage of this sale that she's running and just click that button and go to Amazon to buy the book. It's also very easy for me to go to her website and hopefully sign up for her email newsletter, which will tell me more information about Addison and more information about her books. The next section here in being findable and letting readers find out about you and your books is other social media. So I think Facebook is a very easy thing to create. Most people are on Facebook and are comfortable using it. And Facebook doesn't require a ton of interaction in order to have a page. And also, if you are going to be running Facebook ads eventually, you will need a page to run the ads from. So I recommend that just about every author create an author Facebook page. With other social media, I think this is a little bit more about what you're comfortable with and what you enjoy. For example, Twitter. I know some people do sell books using Twitter, but it's very rare. I don't hear a lot from authors that are saying, yes, I'm driving all of my book sales from Twitter. And so Twitter is a great place to be, to just talk with other writers and even interact with your readers if that's what you're interested in. But it's not going to make or break your book sales for most authors. Instagram and TikTok are also great places. I'm sure most of you have heard of Bookstagram and Book Talk and kind of these online communities interested in books and reading and writing as well. But the thing about these is they do take an interest in creating content and putting the effort out there to be part of the community. And for some authors, this is going to be easy. You're going to be excited about this. And that's fantastic. You should absolutely create, a TikTok account and an Instagram profile. For other authors, being on Instagram and TikTok is going to be a little bit more draining, or you might just not enjoy it as much. And that is fine. You don't have to be on these platforms. So while I think Facebook is a good idea for almost every author, I think for other social media, it's a good idea for authors to choose kind of what they enjoy and chase that, right? Marketing is hard. Let's not make it harder by making half of your marketing doing something that you really don't like doing. So yeah, I just touched on that. Do what you like. And then also a great idea here is to keep the same profile photo on all of your social media accounts. And this is right back to that being findable point. It's good to have author or books at the end of your page or profile names. Having the same profile photo, if you have multiple social media accounts, allows readers to follow you on the platform that they like the most and easily find you. So for example, if I go to Facebook and I see Addison Moore's page, and I'm like, okay, I don't really use Facebook. I prefer to use Instagram. Then I might go to my Instagram app and search for Addison Moore there. If I see the same profile photo in those tiny search results and the little thumbnail, I'll be much more likely to find the correct profile to follow. So having that same profile photo across your social media helps build your author brand and makes it easier for readers to find you. So if at all possible, I really recommend you to have the same profile photo across your social media profiles.
Hey, Clayton. There's been a couple of questions sort of about pictures. Some folks are asking, can you use pictures from when you're a lot younger? Can you use stock photos? I think, they're running into what you're saying of being quite hesitant to show your face. Should it be an accurate representation of what you look like now?
Yeah, I think this is up to authors. I think using if you write a book that is obviously written by an adult, then using a photo of yourself when you were 6 might build a little bit less of a connection than it would with an up-to-date photo. But I think a real photo is better than having one of your book covers up there. And also, once again, this is not a make or break. This is just a suggestion that I have. This is not going to tank your book sales if you don't have a real photo. So if this is really tough for you and maybe a deal breaker, then that is fine. A lot of successful authors do not have real photos of themselves up on their book pages. We just find that when an author does have a real photo or a photo of them as an adult, it builds a connection with the readers. And that's really what readers want if they're going to your author website or your Amazon page. They want to know more about you. And if you're a real person that loves stories like these readers, having a real photo of yourself up there builds that connection even more and can help turn these readers into fans. So yeah, I think you can use a photo of yourself from any period, but I think up to date is probably the best.
Yeah, and as some people are saying, it's not that it's not a literal beauty contest where people scroll through and see who the hottest, sexiest new authors. It's, I think they want to know that there's an actual real person behind it, more
Yeah,
than anything else.
absolutely, absolutely. It is not about who has the coolest background or who has the best hair. It's about who is a real person that also loves stories, right? I think readers just want to know that you're just like them. I think a lot of these readers aren't going to be posting photos of themselves when they're posting reviews of your book either, right?
Mm.
And so I think a lot of these people appreciate the bravery of putting yourself out there. So yeah, that's absolutely right, Martin.
Cool. Please continue.
Excellent. All right, moving on to the next point of our Be Findable coverage here is an author website. And so this is a great way to be findable, a great way to show up in search results on Google. And so there are tons of ways to make websites these days, but it does take a little more work than setting up a Facebook page or even an Amazon author page. So if you want to set up an author website, I strongly recommend that you do it. And there are tons of tools. Wix, WordPress, and Squarespace are just a few, but there are many more, and there are also tons of great articles out there about how to build a website for authors and step-by-step guides. And so, this is something that I really think a lot of people can do. And so, if you're all curious or think you might be able to build an author website, I really encourage you to try this out. I think you might find that it's a little bit easier than you think it might be. As far as what you could put on your author website, you really don't need to put a lot up here, right? This example from Brent Jones, this is the homepage of his website, and he's just got a little greeting here where he talks a little bit about himself. He's got a photo of himself up there in black and white, so you could make your photo black and white if that makes you more comfortable. And this first paragraph here, he's talking about his family, his dogs. And that's just building that connection with the readers, right? And then, as we go down, he has some asks for readers. He says, hey, you can go over here and buy this series here. You can join my email newsletter, or you can follow me on social media. And so he's just kind of laying out all the ways author or readers can connect with him. And so, you can also have reviews of your books on your website. And then a really amazing thing about having a website is it will allow you to have a email newsletter. And so, there are tons of ways to set up email newsletters, kind of similar to websites. A lot of places will kind of build them at the same time. I think with MailChimp these days, you can build a website and an email newsletter. And so an email newsletter is really powerful. And we'll certainly touch on why email matters so much. But I think email is the number one reason for an author to build a website. All right, so that wraps up our Be Findable section. So on to tactic 2. And so this is all about using your back matter and your front matter. And so the back matter and front matter of your book are the sections before the story starts. And so this is a great opportunity for authors to share more and build connections with readers. So if someone is reading the back matter of your book, they have just finished your book. Not only have they purchased your book, they've read the entire thing. And so this is a reader that likely enjoys your work and probably will want more of it. And so it's really important to make it very easy for them to find more of your stuff. So what you can do is in the back matter of your book, you can include in a section like a little Willow Winters has done here at the end of her book. She kind of has Willow Winters has a ton of books published, and so she's kind of got a category up here at the top. But then she has a link to buy her book on Amazon. And so this is so easy for a reader to buy the next book if you have a series, or if you just have multiple books published. It makes it very easy for the reader to continue on and enjoy more of what you have to offer as an author. Another great thing that you can include here, if you don't have any other books, or in addition to links to your other books, is links to your newsletter sign up, right? If someone has just finished your book, they are likely a fan of what you've had to write. They probably enjoyed it if they read the entire thing and are clicking through on that last page. And so give them the opportunity to follow you and support you. Putting a link to your website and asking them to, hey, go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, is a really powerful thing that authors can do here. And then once again, I'm gonna hit this again. I think having a real photo, if your formatting software allows, in the front matter and back matter of your book, with your author bio or near the links to your website, is really powerful. It builds that brand, it builds that connection. It says, hey, I'm a real person. I love this story. I'm so happy you read it. And it builds that connection. I know, when I read a book that I love, I want to know more about the author because I really appreciate what they've done for me. They've given me this tremendous gift, and having that photo really builds that connection and helps me connect more with that author and want to support them even more. So if you're comfortable, having a photo in the front matter and back matter of your book, always a great idea. All right, tactic 3, email. All right, so we talked about this a little bit earlier with the importance of the email newsletter sign up. And I think I want to start off here with just talking a little bit about what's happening in digital marketing in general right now. So you may have heard in the news over the past couple of years that a lot of the tech giants like Facebook and Apple are kind of moving towards valuing privacy a little bit more. We can debate if they're actually doing that or not. But basically what this means is digital marketing is getting a little more difficult, and it's a little more difficult to run ads to specific people across different platforms. And so basically Facebook ads are more difficult to run. Ads on Google are more difficult to run. And so what we're seeing is email is the most valuable tool you have to market whatever product you have. And so this is true for almost every industry in the world right now, and it's certainly true for indie authors. And so when we look at email, I think it's the number one reason for an author to have a website. When someone comes to your website, they can sign up for your email list, and then you have a direct line of communication to them. People check their email almost every day, almost certainly once a week, and you can't really get that in any other area of digital marketing. You know who you're reaching, you know when you're reaching them, and you know exactly what they think about it. You can track the clicks in the email, though that may be going away eventually here, but you know what you've said to them, so you can try something else the next time or follow up with a different book the next time. Another great thing about email is that it is cheap, right? Compared to running ads on platforms, email is often much cheaper. And it's also communication to people that have opted in to hearing from you, right? When I, am watching TV and I see an ad for, example, Coca-Cola, I didn't sit down in front of the TV and say, all right, I would love to see an ad about Coca-Cola, but it does come in front of me. Email is different because when you sign up for an email list, you're saying, yes, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you have to say. And so these are people that are extremely valuable. They've signed up for your email list. They likely want to hear more about your books. They want to buy more of your books. They want to know about you. And they want to know when you have a new book coming out. And so email is just, an absolutely wonderful thing for authors to get started on. A lot of email services, I think, MailChimp, you can have up to, might be more than 100 subscribers for free. So there are a lot of free options out there if you have a small list and you're just getting started. So that's certainly a good thing to look into. And email is just, I think, what's the saying? There's a saying that, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. I think that's certainly true for email. If you don't have an author website, I would really encourage you to get one up and set up an email system, because this is going to pay dividends as your email list grows throughout the years. So yeah, email. All right, tactic number 4, price promos. All right, so price promos are all about lowering the price of your book for a specific period of time, or you could have a low price for first in your series for an extended period of time. And so what this does is it lowers the barrier to entry for readers. When a reader who hasn't heard your name before, or hasn't read any of your books before, is looking at your book on a site like Amazon, they're trying to decide if they should spend their money to read your book, and they might be unsure. So if your book price is low, they're much more likely to take that risk and give it a shot with you as an author. So lowering your price for a limited period of time is a very effective way to kind of get readers into your books and hopefully buy more of your books in the future. Price promos, I think, are more effective for authors that have multiple books or writing in series, but it's also a great way for authors to get those reviews. I know, I always hear from authors that just published a book and they're having a really hard time getting reviews on Amazon, and reviews are very important, right? Having a 5-star review early in your book can help readers make that decision to pull the trigger and to buy your book. And so getting those reviews can be tough if no one's buying your book to start. So by dropping your price, you can get more people to test out your book, read it, and leave a review. Also, if you have a series, if you have, say you have a 3-book series and you have a cheap first book in the series, if people read that first book, they spend $2 on it, and they're like, oh, I'll test it out and see how it goes. They read it and like it, they're much more likely to pay full price for those next 2 books in the series. So it's a great way to kind of get people into your world and get them to test out your work. There are a number of different ways you can use price promotion. So if you are enrolled in Kindle Unlimited, Amazon's kind of an exclusive publishing program, you get access to Kindle countdown deals, and that's the screenshot furthest over to the right here. This is what the buy box looks when you're running a Kindle countdown deal, and you can see this box is alerting the reader that, hey, this deal is only available for about 4 more days, right? If you want this price, you need to buy now. And urgency is such a compelling reason for someone to buy something. That's basically the whole reason anybody runs sales on any product at any time, right? And so this Kindle countdown deal is really powerful and can really help drive readers to make that purchase now, because they know they won't be able to get these same savings later on. Another option is, if you're published wide, or if you want to use a free day on Amazon, is you can just drop the price of your book for a limited period, or make your book free for a limited period of time. And this is a great way to really kind of goose your downloads and get more people to read your book, leave reviews, and hopefully read more of your books if you have more. A great way to capitalize on price promo is by running promotions with promo sites like with Written Word Media, like the company that I work for. Basically what authors do here is they drop the price of their book for a limited period of time, and then they pay a company like mine to email thousands of readers and say, hey, this book is priced at $2.99 for a limited period. Go here and get this deal right now. And so this way, when your price is low, you get a ton of new downloads, and your book shoots up the charts on sites like Amazon. And then more people see it because it's higher up the charts on Amazon. And when people are just browsing through, they're more likely to see it. And so price promotion can be paired with different advertising techniques to benefit authors even more. You can also run digital ads while you're running a price promo. And this, once again, is helping getting more readers to the book while it's discounted and get people to take advantage of this deal. And so, yeah, this is a great way to get readers to take a chance on you if they haven't heard of you before, and then hopefully sign up for your newsletter if you have another book coming out eventually, or if you already have multiple books, they're much more likely to go on and pay full price for other books down the road. All right, tactic number 5, digital ads. So, we're going to start with Facebook ads here. And digital ads are a great way for authors to sell books online. They can be complicated to learn how to use, but a lot of authors that I talk to that have published a lot of books and are full-time authors, or they're making all of their income from their writing, they are running digital ads, and a lot of them are running ads on Facebook. And so results do vary. It takes time to learn how to use Facebook ads, but thankfully there is a ton of great information out there. You can just Google how to run Facebook ads for authors. And there are tons of paid courses that you can do, and there's also tons of free information. We have blog posts on our website about how to run Facebook ads. David Gogren, who's a fantastic, influencer for authors, has a fantastic, over an hour long YouTube video where he walks you through how to set up a Facebook ad to sell your books. And you can just follow along click by click, and it's totally free. And so I really recommend when you're ready, diving into Facebook ads and learning how to run these, because this can be a really big turning point for authors. When you start out, I recommend starting with a low spend with multiple campaigns. And on Facebook, you can target different interests. And so, for example, if you have a mystery book, you might target very popular mystery authors and people that like their books. And you might serve them an ad of your book that has a cover that looks like that and is very clear that it's a mystery book. And those people may be more likely to click on the book and buy it. And so we recommend starting out with low spend, targeting different interests, and testing what works the best. We also recommend testing a variety of creative. And when I say creative, I mean everything that we're seeing in this ad to the right here. The image in the middle, you want to test multiple images, and you can use tools like Canva, or there's even a tool called BookBrush, which is built specifically for authors to make ads for your book. And then also the copy up here at the top of the image with those gold stars and the paragraph before it, and then the text beneath the image as well. That is all considered creative. And so you can test different words, different wording at the top, and different images, and see what gets the most readers to click on the book for the cheapest amount of money. Another platform that I think authors should definitely test running digital ads on is Amazon. And so on Amazon, people are already on Amazon. They're in a buying mood. And so if you get your book in front of them while they're browsing through other ebooks or other products on Amazon, they might be more likely to just click on it and buy it right away. It's very easy. They don't have to change websites, and they may already be looking for a book to read. And so, Amazon ads, like Facebook, can be a little complicated to start. They can be a little confusing, like a lot of things in digital marketing. But once again, there's a ton of great information out there about how to run Amazon ads for authors specifically. And so I think this is another great thing that you can look at as a great learning opportunity for authors. Go out and just Google how to run Amazon ads for authors. There's going to be a ton of great information that can help you set up an Amazon ad campaign, and you can find new readers and readers that are really interested in your book this way. Similar to Facebook, we recommend starting out with a low spend campaigns. We found that sponsored product ads is a very specific type of ad on Amazon. Has worked for kind of long period campaigns for books. And then also, as with most things with digital ads, you want to test different targeting. So you want to test targeting different interests and different audiences on Amazon and see what works best for your book. Every book is different, and so different audiences are going to react differently. And so when it comes to digital ads, it's all about testing. Alrighty. Oh yeah, and then of course I've already hit on this, but I'll definitely hit on it again. Definitely research and learn as much as you can when you start to run ads on Amazon or Facebook or any other digital platform. There's so much great information. You don't have to pay for a lot of it, and this will save you a lot of headaches. And I find it really inspiring to hear about other authors that are having success and how they did it. So there's a ton of great information out there, and I really recommend that everybody seeks it out. Alrighty, so yeah, that finishes up our five essential marketing tactics for authors. Number one, you've got to be findable. You need to use your back matter. Every author needs an email list. And then, of course, price promotions and digital ads are great ways to get more and more readers to read your books, leave reviews, sign up for your email list, and buy more of your books and share your books with their friends. So these are great ways for authors or books, find more readers, and kind of build their author profile. Before we jump off and take some questions here, I'll talk a little bit about Written Word Media really quick. So like I said before, Written Word Media is a book marketing company. And so we have email promotions where we send a link to your book to thousands of readers who like your specific genre. And so these are some of our email promo brands up at the top here. We have promos for free books, for books below $4.99, for romance books, for new releases, and audiobooks. And then we also have ad campaigns for books as well. So if you are having a hard time getting started with Facebook or Amazon ads, or just want to see how our ads perform for you, you can book a reader reach ad campaign with us in as little as 5 minutes. And then, whenever you schedule it, we'll run ads for your book on Facebook or Amazon. So that's another great way that you can work with us. You can visit our website at writtenwordmedia.com to learn more. Or you can shoot us an email to info@writtenwordmedia.com. If you have any questions about book marketing, book promotion, about what promo might be best for you, where you should publish your book, anything, you don't have to work with us to email us and ask us a question. Our team is fantastic, and we're always more than happy to help. So yeah, shoot us an email if you have any questions. And if you want to reach me specifically, just address the email to me, and it'll make its way to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, so I think that's about it for me. Martin, is that about a good time to wrap things up there?
Yeah, we've got some questions coming in from earlier. Maybe we'll start with some of them, but if you have any questions, please send them in. I'll be scouring the comments for that. First one's from Joanna, talking about programs like MailChimp or really any email, about newsletters and emails going to promotions or spam. Any thoughts on sort of optimizing your emails to make sure they turn up in the primary folders?
Yes, yeah, certainly. So this is actually, unfortunately, is out of an author's control a lot of the time. Basically, how this is done is email providers send from different buckets of kind of accounts, and different buckets have different reputations. And so if you're in a bucket with a good reputation, you are more likely to get out of that promotions folder and into the inbox. And so, if you have a free account on MailChimp, you're probably going to be in a bucket with a poor, quote unquote, reputation in the email world. And so to a certain extent, this is a little bit out of your control. One good thing you can do here is on your welcome series with your email newsletter, the email that someone gets when they first sign up, is ask them to add you to their contact list. That will help get the email into their inbox. And then also doing things in your emails that help readers click on the email. A click is a good signal that you're sending good emails that are valuable. So focusing on getting people to click on your emails is another good way to do this.
Great. We have a question here. Let's see. That's about. Sorry about that. There's a question about using something like Patreon as a platform for authors. I'm guessing like Patreon tends to work better if you already have some sort of following.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I really like Patreon because it's a great way for readers to support authors directly. But if you have just published your first book, it's going to be hard for you to get a bunch of people to your Patreon to support you. So I do think that that is better done maybe a little bit later in your author career after you have a sizable mailing list, for example.
Yeah. Like Brandon Sanderson, I guess, is the big example, but he's enormously famous, has a massive following. If you start up your Patreon and you have yet to release any books, it's tough for you to go like, well, I haven't written anything yet, but if you support me on Patreon, you might get something.
For example, yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, if I started a Patreon, no one should give me any money because I'm probably a bad writer, right? My first book may not be very enjoyable, and so it's a big risk. So yeah, I think Patreon and other platforms like Kickstarter definitely are better when you have more of an established audience.
There's a question here from Dr. Sandra Langer. Do you need separate pages for your website for various books if you write in different genres?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think authors do this a variety of different ways. I think if you write in different genres, kind of segmenting your books by genre is a good idea. And so you could do that with different pages or by grouping different genres together on your books page. So yeah, I think however you want to do that, you can, but it's definitely good to separate your genres so they're not all mixed in together. Because not every reader is going to like every genre that you write in. And this is a great thing that you can look at other authors and see what they're doing and what makes the most sense to you, and look at examples of what other authors are doing.
We've got a question here from Scott. Every option offered here has nothing to do with every option here offered has to do with non-store placement. Is it possible for self-published authors to get into brick and mortar stores?
Yeah, so I think it is possible. Frankly, I'm not much of an expert on getting into brick and mortar stores, but I do know of authors that will do a print run with a press, and then have a deal with a local bookstore to get their books in there. But frankly, Scott, I'm sorry, I don't know much about getting into to brick and mortar stores. I'm focused on the digital side of things. So I don't think I'm the ideal person to talk to about this.
I think you're sort of right with you find that small local bookstores are always very happy to support local authors, and so that can make sense. Because I used to work in a bookstore, and there's a fairly large one in Scotland, and once a quarter you'd have the folks from like Simon and Schuster and Penguin and Random House would come and pitch you their slate and try to like tell the stores like, if you put our new book here, we'll give you these things on discount. And as like an indie author, you really can't compete with that. So you can't go and pitch to an entire big box chain. You have to go store by store and give them a compelling reason why they should give up some of their shelf space for you. So I guess the reason why most indie authors thrive online is because it's scalable, right? It's something that you can put a little bit of extra time into and get a lot of reach around the internet instead of phoning up every single store in the country and trying to give them a compelling reason to stock your book. Cool. Ooh, here's some in the weeds. When using written word media, does it cater to specific genres of readers, or is it just emails of diverse readers?
Yeah, so it's all specific genres. So if you're a fantasy author, when you come to book a promo with us, your book will go out to readers that have told us we love fantasy. So you're only ever paying to reach readers that have told us we like this genre. And so that's part of what makes email promotions so effective. Is it's not going to people that it's not going to romance readers who have never read a sci-fi book. It's going to people that love that specific genre.
Cool. I think there's another written word media question tucked away in here. Oh, even more specific. What day of the week is the best day to run an online promo with written word media? Every day, yeah?
Yeah, every day. I honestly think it really varies by author. So I talk to a lot of our authors, and I've heard Tuesday is the best day, and then I've also heard Sunday is the best day. So honestly, I really don't know. I think it's going to vary on your genre and honestly your book. So yeah, no particular day. I think it's best to line it up with maybe if you have other marketing activity to schedule it around that as well, because we do run promos every day of the week.
A Robin Story asks, how often should you be sending out newsletters, and how varied does the content need to be? I guess this is the big thing. We say, you have to put a newsletter out, but if you haven't released a book yet, what do you fill your newsletter with?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially if you haven't released a book. I think if you have people signing up for your newsletter and you haven't released a book yet, this is a great time to update them on your writing process and kind of what you're doing to finish the book. You can also share some personal information and build that connection with them. You can talk about vacations you've taken or maybe inspiration that you've had for writing a book. I think readers that sign up for mailing lists are really interested in the process of being an author and kind of what it takes to get a story out there. And so sharing kind of your thoughts on why you're writing the story, what brought the story to you, can be some compelling content to send out to readers.
Nick Lundberg As a real estate agent, I wrote a dark comedy memoir. My readership is all real estate related professionals. I can buy up to 300,000 real estate related emails. How should I start building up to that? Um, I'm not sure about like maybe if you can buy leads. You can buy the Glengarry leads, I guess, and sell it to them. But I guess through more legit methods, how would one expect to build up their list when they're starting off?
Yeah, yeah. So I think real estate specifically, it's interesting. I'm not sure about the crossover between dark comedy and real estate agents. If there's much of a fit there, it may be because it's real estate specific. But I think building up a readership is all about testing different audiences and seeing what sort of people like your book. And so, this could be running an email promotion with written word media, and you get some nonfiction readers, as we call them, to buy your book, and then see what your reviews say and kind of what these readers are saying about your book. You could also try to find other books that you view as similar or that you think readers might enjoy as well as your book, and then kind of see what sort of people you think are reading that book and target those people on platforms like Facebook and Amazon. I think buying this is a pretty unique situation. I've never talked to an author who has the option to buy 300,000 emails of people that may or may not read books. So I'm really not sure about that strategy entirely. Maybe you could buy a smaller segment of these and see how it goes when you email them that first time.
If they're being sold all the time, maybe these contacts are just glad not to get another timeshare email and just be pleased to be pitched a wonderful book. Mailer asks, is relating to, I think you were talking about advert running tests. What is considered a low spend? How much should I be prepared to pay?
Yeah. So I think low spend, especially when you're first starting out, can be as little as $3 to $5 a day. And so certainly that can add up over time. But I think that's pretty affordable if you want to test out stuff for a week or something like that. Say you have two campaigns each at $3 a day, something like that. I think you can set it really low. You just want it high enough that you're getting some clicks and helping Facebook or Amazon learn a little bit about who's responding to your ads in your book.
RG asks the question, what is the first step to take in order to jumpstart our marketing campaign? I know there are several steps, but if you had to start today cold, I'm thinking of releasing a book in 6 months. What do I do now?
Yeah, interesting. I think it's setting up all of these findability things that we started talking about at the beginning of the presentation. So I think setting up your social media profiles, building your author website. That way, when you release your book and you get people to read your book and buy it for the first time, they can easily follow you and get more of your content and find ways to share it with their friends. So I think being prepared for people to be looking for you and wanting more from you is kind of the best way to prepare for launching a book. And then, of course, when you first launch your book, you'll want to do some marketing on that first month or so to train the algorithm of platforms like Amazon that, hey, yes, people are buying this book. You should show it to more people. So after you launch, running ads or running a promotion with a company like us, sending it out to a newsletter is always a great thing to do and kind of signals that, hey, this book is popular and it's getting sales.
Cool. Great. All right. I think that's sort of the end of the questions that are a little bit on the unique side. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been amazing. Clayton, I want to thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on and sharing the stuff you know. Before we say goodbye, I just want to mention that we have another webinar in 2 weeks. It's another lecture on writing characters. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be announcing sort of our autumn season of webinars. I've been booking them up with a good variety of things. So do head over to blog.reedsy.com/live, where you'll be able to see the transcripts for all the previous webinars as well as the replays. It's where you can find the transcript for this one next week. Please do give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, so keep your finger away from that dislike button. I don't like that. Clayton, before we say goodbye, is there anything else you'd like to say or share with the crowd?
I don't think so. I think just thank you, everybody, for listening to me talk for so long, and thank you, Martin, for having me.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Clayton. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.